G'day everyone, we're back on the farm today. We are about to start mulching, chipping all the prunings that Ian did from the jackfruit trellises yesterday. So it's very sunny, which is good. The mosquitoes are mad at the moment and making farm life a little bit annoying. But anyway, here we are. And this is the chipper that...
Hansa.
So this is a Hansa C7, I think.
Yeah.
So it will take 70mm branches.
70mm
Diameter, yep. Which is perfect for the prunings that we've got. There is the next model up, a little bit more commercial than this one, but this is pretty good for what we need.
Yeah, you don't want to get to the stage where you're cutting pruning much more than that.
Stumpy is doing his own version of mulching. Say hello, Stumpy.
Hello.
Another reason why we need to chip all these prunings, because Stumpy thinks it's hilarious to pull them off the trellising, off the interrows, and run around the paddock with them. It's his favourite pastime. So he's down here, he's helping. Ian's about to start the chipper up and we'll get going with some chipping. It's pretty noisy, so I'm going to move away.
Shall you warm up first or the engine?
Can be pretty noisy when you're doing this, so we do wear earmuffs. Okay, suppose I better go and help. So we finished all the mulching this morning. It took us pretty much all morning, but we got all the mulching done on all the trellis trees. And we've just come down now to the freestanding jackfruit trees, which is how we want to grow them eventually. And we just wanted to show you what the soil looks like with the mulch on and just how good it is.
So So I don't know if you can get close up here, but all of this is roots from the tree, and these are the feeding roots, the ones that will take up all the nutrition for the tree. So by putting all this mulch down, it contributes in several ways. It suppresses weeds, don't get as many weeds. It protects the soil from erosion during the heavy rain that we get in the tropics, and conversely it keeps the soil moist. Hello, Stumpy.
Stumpy wants to be on camera.
It keeps the soil moist during the dry times, so helps with water retention. You don't have to irrigate as much. The organic matter helps in terms of it stops or reduces the leaching that you might get with your fertilizer during the heavy rain periods. And all the fungi, all these little white specks here, that's all beneficial fungi helping to break down the organic matter. Just so good for the trees, so good. If you were to just what might be termed chop and drop, like leaving just branches like this, as you can see, they're not in contact with the ground, so they dry out. They will break down, but it'll take 2, 3, 4 years to break down. Whereas when you chip it, get all this fine material, it's the moisture there compared with this dry piece of wood, much better.
The trees love it, don't they?
Yeah, and the trees love being grown like this, opposed to...
Yeah, so this is how we want the jackfruits eventually. We'll convert the whole orchard over to this style of growing, and because we do live in an area that's subject to cyclones, we will keep them short.
That's probably the most important thing you can do in terms of protection from strong winds, cyclones, is keep the height down. 3 meters, 4 meters max for the height. Below that, and with some light pruning, your trees will stand out. That was shown during Cyclone Yazi. The big trees, they were the ones that got damaged. Small trees survived it. But growing it with what can be termed as multiple leaders. Here we've got 4, 5 branches that are all heading towards the sky, but because you've got 4 or 5, it's spreading the vigour. So they're so much calmer than on the trellis trees, because most of your tropical fruit trees don't have a dormant period. They're almost constantly growing.
Yeah, and the jackfruits that we've got in the boundary, that we don't not for commercial reasons, but just a boundary tree. Obviously they're not growing like this. They just go straight up.
Yeah.
They just reach for the sky. They just get taller and taller. So doing it like this slows them down, and probably makes them a little bit more stable too. More
stable, they're calmer, they take half as much pruning as trees on trellis, because the ones on the trellis are trying to out-compete one another all the time.
This one's got some male. This one's got some males coming too.
Your male flowers will always start to appear probably 2 or 3 weeks before any fruiting mud. We've got an early jackfruit up there starting. But yeah, just love growing them like this. It's just so much easier.
I think the trees seem happier like this as well. They seem a lot more healthy
and calmer. But if you look at the space here, there's airflow.
Yeah.
So as I was saying before, you're not going to get the high humidity in there, which is leaving your trees prone to disease. Insects can hide in there.
And
Yeah.
far easier to manage when you're not having to fight trellis wire.
Yeah.
The amount of times I lose my hat because I'm trying to get into the trellis, it's so annoying. Whereas this is just far easier for picking, for pruning, and I honestly think the trees are happier growing this way.
The canistels are manageable on the trellis.
Yeah, so that's the canistels over there.
You do get that vigour at the top. So yes, you have to prune them maybe 3 times a year at the top, but the sides are a lot slower. It's a slower growing tree.
Yeah, they are quite suited to trellising. But the jackfruits, yeah, this is our plan.
Got to come in and prune these now, just to take some of the vigorous growth off the top. But yeah, much better. Weed suppression is better. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay then, that'll do for now.